I can actually hear the voice in my head. He's snapping, doing his thing. Anyways, I'm just gonna read the review. I am sure you have seen plenty of fragrance review videos, but have you ever seen any reviews from some popular celebrities? Well, there's a first time for everything. Unless, of course, you're watching this video for the second time. But with some feedback from Morgan Freeman, Bob Ross, Snoop Dogg, and even Ryan Reynolds, this should be interesting. But first, before we get started, were you aware that in 2023 alone, the global home fragrance market was valued at over $7 billion? And out of that $7 billion, 40% of it was made up by fall sales alone. So yeah, we're getting into prime time. Fall and winter season is the busiest for candle makers. And with that being said, in January of this past year, we released our fragrance oils. And among those fragrance oils, today we're going to focus on the 12 of the best fall sellers that we've had to this point. And I'm going to tell you a little bit about each of those fragrances. And to spice things up, we're going to check out a few little reviews sent in by those claiming to be some of these popular celebrities. So I hope you guys enjoy this video. All the links to these specific fragrance oils we're going to talk about and all the other resources you're going to need are linked in the video description below. So thanks for watching. Let's go ahead and dive in. And by the way, the 12th and final fragrance we're going to talk about is not necessarily a fall specific fragrance. It's actually all year round, but it's so good. It's our most popular selling fragrance to date. So I really want you to check it out. Cranberry Fire. Now, this is not your ordinary fall cranberry fragrance. This cranberry has a bit of an attitude. It's spicy. It's intriguing. It's got more depth than a typical cranberry or a cinnamon type fragrance. Typical fall warm cozy notes like your cinnamon and your nutmeg, but that is also fused with this fresh, ripe, and very tart cranberry. This is a note profile in general that's pretty popular already, but this specific version is something I really think you should check out. Besides the cinnamon and the nutmeg and the cranberry, of course, there's also a little bit of orange zest. Now, it's not a lot, but it's enough to brighten up the fragrance and sort of make it a little bit more lively. And like a lot of fall fragrances, it's going to sit on a bed of base notes that include vanilla, and amber and tonka and musk. They kind of bring everything together. But overall, like I said, the Cranberry Fire fragrance is not a typical cranberry scent. It does have those sweet cranberries, but it definitely has that extra bite. It's a very satisfying, very lingering scent. So I highly encourage you to check it out. But don't take just my word for it. Apparently we have a review in here from someone claiming to be Chris Rock. So let's see what they have to say. I gotta tell you, I can hear the voice in my head while I'm reading some of this. And it's just, listen. Let me tell you something. Oh man, this cranberry isn't here to make friends. Oh no. This cranberry showed up, looked at all those other fruity, sweet little scents and said, nah, I'm bringing the heat. It's tart, it's bold, it's got more kick than your grandma's spiked punch. Like that cranberry just walked up on stage and slapped you in the face. All right, well, thanks for the review. Now, before we hear what Ryan Reynolds thinks about our next fragrance, which, by the way, I'm very excited to hear, I want to address something else. I get asked all the time about other craft skills, other things that I might do on the side or other places where you can learn other crafts. Because let's face it, if you're a DIYer and you're into candle making, you probably like some other related hobbies as well. And maybe not just new skills, but maybe some skills that help support your candle business. So if that is something you're interested in, I'd encourage you to check out Craftsy, which was generous enough to sponsor today's video. Craftsy is an online community for other crafters and DIYers like you and myself that are looking for more inspiration, really want to just jump into our creative side, whether that's to learn new crafts and new hobbies or just take your current ones really to the next level. They offer over 2,000 classes in over 20 different categories, so they really do have something for everyone. So whether you're into painting and drawing, woodworking, gardening, journaling, photography, even cake decorating, they've got something for everyone. Now, personally, I like to eat, but I don't always want to go out to eat. And I'm interested in improving that skill at home, right? And lately I've been on this kick for kind of real authentic artisan bread. So I recently took a class by Zoe Francois called Artisan Bread in Minutes. And I gotta tell you, the simple step-by-step instructions that are very intuitive, engaging, easy to watch and follow, make everything seem a lot easier and less overwhelming. There's a lot of skills out there that seem and can look very overwhelming, like candle making, and some are, like candle making, but everything can be done and everything can be learned if you have the right teacher. So I would encourage you to check out Craftsy. With all their award-winning instructors, they make everything just seem a lot more doable. And what I love the most about Craftsy is it's not just instructions, it's not just classes. You're joining a community with others like us, other DIYers, other enthusiasts looking for the same inspiration. And again, because they're adding classes all the time, you're literally always going to keep finding new things that interest you. So if you are interested in checking them out, I would encourage you to do so. And even better, for the first 1,000 of you that click on that link below, you get 1 year premium membership to Craftsy for only $1.49. That's pretty insane. So check them out, and thanks again, Craftsy, for sponsoring today's video. All right, the next fragrance that we're talking about today is the Foliage, and we're actually gonna have the pleasure of seeing what Ryan Reynolds has to say about this at the end as well. But I gotta tell you, if you are ready to take that stroll through autumn woods, that fall forest, and if you really want that nostalgic autumn aroma, this is the fragrance oil for you. As you can imagine, it really starts with those dried leaves. That's the underlying main fragrance note here. But it's not just those famous dried leaves that we're trying to recreate. They're also blended with some dried fruits. You've got a little bit of orange zest and some crisp apple, but you have a few other fall components as well, like cinnamon bark and white musk to kind of round out the whole fragrance. This is a classic fragrance. This is one I would really encourage you to check out if you're looking for that home run nostalgic fall fragrance. Like if you had to say fall in a bottle, this is it. But like I said, let's see what Ryan has to say. The Foliage fragrance is like nature's way of giving you a high five for surviving summer. All I can hear is his voice and his personality, his tone. Trying to just read these in words is weird to me. Again, I can hear the tone of voice even just reading the words. But the dried fruit swoop in like a surprise cameo in a blockbuster. Unexpected, yet absolutely necessary. He would say that. The touch of apple and cinnamon bark make you feel a little cooler than you actually are. Can't miss fragrance that may even give you superpowers. Well, thank you, Ryan. All right, next up we have the Peculiar Pine with a courtesy review from no other than Morgan Freeman. I got to tell you, the Peculiar Pine is one of my personal favorites among maybe all of our fragrances. Now, I'm partial to outdoor woodsy type notes anyways, but there's something very unique about the Peculiar Pine. It is not a typical pine. It would stand out among 1,000 other pines in a forest. It is deeper, it is mysterious, it's intriguing, because it's not just that crisp, typical, invigorating pine, because it also has thyme, a little bit of patchouli, and sage. This adds a smoky, herbal experience to the fragrance as well. And this particular fragrance is on base notes of cedarwood, musk, and camphor. If you're looking for a pine scent or a tree type scent, I would certainly encourage you to try this one out. But even if you're already set with these type of fragrances, I would still really suggest you give this one a shot. I think you would love it. It's unique, it's mysterious, it's peculiar. But let's see what Mr. Freeman has to say. Now, this is a totally different voice in my head than the last ones. Now I feel like a narrator. The Peculiar Pine is a fragrance with a story, a tale of a pine tree that's wise beyond its years. This pine has a playful twist infused with the subtle sharpness of time, like a mischievous grin on a wise old face. As you journey deeper, rich patchouli and smoky sage guide you into the heart of the forest. Together, they create a feeling that's both familiar and refreshingly new, like meeting an old friend with a surprising new haircut. Not sponsored. Next up, we've got the Silk Oak with Snoop Dogg. Now, the Silk Oak is a very different type of fragrance than the ones we've talked about so far. It's very warm, it's soothing, it's smooth, and dare I even say sexy. Its primary notes are dark woods, vanilla, and cedarwood. With those notes alone, you can tell that it's silky, and it's calming, and it's soothing. But to add a little bit more intrigue, it also has green leaves and stone fruit. And finally, it's on a warm, cozy bed of patchouli and leather. It's also just very well-rounded. You get those oak notes with a little bit of sweetness. It's very velvety, very smooth. This is a great fragrance for anyone that appreciates those deep, sophisticated scents, but with that leather and patchouli just sprinkled in just a bit, it does add a little bit of ruggedness as well. But let's see what Snoop has to say. The Silk Oak is that smooth, laid-back vibe you've been looking for. This scent is smooth like a classic groove, yet deep and mysterious like a late-night jam session. It'll have you feeling fresh and fly, but with a touch of that West Coast cool. It's like the end of a good night, warm, smooth, with just the right amount of cool. Keep it cool and stay fly all day, every day, baby. This is getting ridiculous. By the way, if I didn't already say this, thank you all for being here. Welcome back to the channel. If you are new to the channel, my name is Wade with Black Tie Barn. Love to have you for future videos on this channel. We talk about candle making. We talk about running a candle business. We talk about updates and changes in the industry. We talk about new products. We do fragrance reviews like this. We do a lot here. I'd love to have you for future videos. So if you want to make sure you don't miss out on any, just click subscribe below and click that little bell to turn on notifications. Anytime we post a video, it'll let you know. And you can just jump on YouTube and check it out. And if you like this so far and you're enjoying this video, just hit that thumbs up below as well. That does help me out, helps out the channel, lets me know what type of things you guys like. Next up, we've got the Harvest Market, and we have a special review by someone calling themselves Kevin Hart. Of course we do. All right, so let me tell you a little bit about the Harvest Market. This is another classic fall fragrance, sort of like the Foliage, but different. This is more of a spicy note. This is very much like being at a harvest spice market, I guess. I think I could describe it the best by saying it's mostly cinnamon and clove. Now, there are other spices as well. There's a little bit of nutmeg, there's a little bit of tonka, vanilla to add a little sweetness, but it's mostly those fall spices like clove and cinnamon. It's really hard to have a fall fragrance lineup without having a fragrance like the Harvest Market in it. It just screams fall, and because it has those fall spices, that really hits a home run with most customers. Add a touch of sweetness and some other good base notes to make the scent linger a little bit so it doesn't just kind of jump out, scream at you, and then run off. Speaking of screaming, let's check out this review from Kevin Hart. All right, listen up. Oh God, I can hear him. I can actually hear the voice in my head. He's snapping, doing his thing. Anyways, I'm just gonna read the review. All right, listen up. Harvest Market's like a warm, spicy hug from your favorite aunt. Why would you want a spicy hug from your favorite aunt? The fragrance kicks off with a bold cinnamon. Bam, right in your face. Then the clove comes in, smooth and spicy like it's got secrets to tell. And just when you're feeling all cozy, the tonka and vanilla wrap you up in the sweetest, most comforting finish. It's like your grandma's kitchen, only better because it's without all the lectures about your life choices. This fragrance is gonna make things happen. I'm sure it is. I'm sure. This is fun. Are you guys enjoying this? Anyways, check out the Harvest Market. Now let's get into another one of my personal favorites, and actually the very first fragrance oil ever designed by Black Tie Barn, called the Graveyard. And here to help us with a review of the Graveyard at the end is no other than Stephen King. All right, so Graveyard, what does that smell like? Well, if you're familiar with any petrichor type fragrance, it's very similar to that. It's earthy, it's a little mossy, it's like rain-soaked dirt. It's that aroma after it rains, the way the earth smells, the way walking around outside smells, but with a little twist, something a little bit deeper, darker, a little bit more haunting. And that's the element of kind of walking through at Graveyard, right? It smells a lot like fresh dirt, but a little haunting and mysterious as well. The main notes in this are really just earth, stone, moss, and cedarwood, and that's really all you need to accomplish this fragrance. But for just a few primary notes, it's a very unique and bold fragrance. And like I said, it is a personal favorite of mine. I just really love the natural, pure honesty of this fragrance. It's also just haunting and a little bit unsettling, and that makes it intriguing, really intriguing. I'm sure the perfect author to describe this the best would be Mr. King, so let's see what he has to say. The Graveyard is like inhaling the damp, dark breath of the earth itself, pulling you into a place where even the dead don't rest easy. It's a scent that wraps around you like a cold fog, with the unsettling presence of moss-covered stones and the ancient woody roots of something that refuses to be forgotten. This fragrance is a haunting reminder that some stories and scents never truly end. Wow. That needs to be the description on the website, I think. Check out Graveyard. If you're looking for anything unique, a little bit twisted, a little bit haunting, mysterious, you've got to sample this as well. I know I'm sounding like a broken record here, but this next fragrance is also one of my favorites. However, the last one was our first fragrance ever. This one is one of our newest, and it's called The Love After Death. And apparently we have a review by an apprentice of everyone's favorite classic painter, Bob Ross. So how can I describe The Love After Death? It is the epitome of mysterious, smoky romance, a love that never dies. The primary notes in this one are charcoal rose and frankincense. The rose signifying love and romance, the frankincense signifying eternity. Combine those together, and you've got everlasting love, which is the perfect way to describe this fragrance. The charcoal rose is a typical rose, but a little bit more smoky. It's got history, it's ghostly even a little. Frankincense, of course, is sacred, got lots of depth, very earthy. Now, surprisingly included in this one is a touch of green apple and clove. It's got other middle notes of pine and fir, and it sits on base notes of gaiac wood, sandalwood, musk, and tonka. This is a very unique, very complex fragrance, and it is going to be polarizing. There's going to be a lot of you that absolutely love it like I do, and there's going to be a lot of you that don't. It is bold, it's dark, it's mysterious. It does have those smoky elements, and out of the bottle, it's pretty potent. But using this fragrance oil and wax and burning a candle, it really comes together and harmonizes so well. I absolutely love this burning. I burn this one at the house all the time. So don't be put off by the description. Don't be put off by some of the notes. Don't be put off by that smokiness. Give this one a shot. I think you might be surprised. And if you're looking for something truly unique anyways to offer your customer base, give it a shot, sample it, let me know what you think. But I haven't forgot, so let's see what, like I said, Bob Ross's apprentice has to say. Love after death is like painting with the deepest, most mysterious colors, where smoky charcoal rose meets the ancient warmth of frankincense. It's as if being kissed by a fire and touched by a rose with history in its petals. It's a journey through shadowy forest and quiet candlelit spaces, leaving a lingering sweet memory on the canvas of your soul. Like a happy little tree in a dark corner, this fragrance reminds us that beauty can be found in the quietest, most unexpected places. Another perfect description of this fragrance. Now it's time to sass things up a little bit with the Sassy Pumpkin. And what do you know? Ryan Reynolds back for a cameo. And guys, the Sassy Pumpkin is the first of 2 pumpkin fragrances we're going to talk about today. Both are unique. Both you gotta have. And the Sassy Pumpkin is not a typical pumpkin fragrance. It is a spicy pumpkin with an attitude. When you think of Sassy Pumpkin, I want you to think of pumpkin chai. The clove and cinnamon add a bold, a spice, warmth. The cardamom brings it all together, and that's where you get those chai components. But of course, those are all blended with the pumpkin. However, there's a little bit of a sweet cream to sort of smooth out and support those other notes. Maybe think of it as adding a splash of cream to your pumpkin chai latte. This is a fantastic fragrance. It starts bold, it ends warm, it ends very inviting. Now it does smell a little bit different burning than it does out of the bottle. I've had several people tell me that out of the bottle, you know, it's okay. It's nothing that really jumps out as fantastic. But I promise you, when this one's in a wax and this one's burning, you get the pumpkin notes, you get the chai notes. Like I said, it's a pumpkin chai with an attitude. I mean, the Sassy Pumpkin, that's why we named it that. It's a Sassy Pumpkin fall fragrance. And speaking of sassy, let's see what Ryan has to say about this one. The Sassy Pumpkin isn't just here to whisper sweet nothings in your ear. It's here to smack you on the ass and remind you who's boss. It's like that spicy chai latte that grew up, found sarcasm, and now has a naughty streak. It's bold, it's cheeky, and it's got a pumpkin kick that doesn't quit. This isn't your grandma's pumpkin scent, unless, of course, your grandma's secretly a badass with a leather jacket. What's with all the grandma references? It's because it's fall? I hope you all want to try all of these fragrance oils so far, but if you're only picking and choosing some, make sure the Sassy Pumpkin's one of them. Next up, we have the Lumberjack, and it looks like someone claiming to be Matthew McConaughey is going to leave us a little review on this one. All right, the Lumberjack. The best way to describe this is rugged, warm, and effortlessly cool vibe. Think about walking around a crisp fall morning in your favorite flannel. And in fact, that was the inspiration for this, is that popular flannel type fragrance. It's got mahogany woods and patchouli, really kind of create that main profile, but you also have bergamot to brighten everything up a little bit, add a little bit of a zesty kick, a touch of spice, add some intrigue, it adds some charm. The Lumberjack really is like wearing your favorite flannel on a journey through the woods. It's warm, it's masculine, it's sexy, it's strong, it's simple, it's genuine. It's genuine. Let's see what Mr. McConaughey has to say. All right, all right, all right. I literally just said it like him just because of the words. Just because it said, all right, all right, all right. How do you say that not like him? All right, all right, all right. The Lumberjack is a scent that takes you back to the woods, where the air is crisp, the earth is rich, and every moment is as genuine as it gets. Anyone else think this sounds like a Lincoln commercial? It's strong, warm, and smooth like your favorite flannel on a cool day. Simple, soulful, and always just right. This one's for the man who knows who he is and isn't afraid to show it. Well said. So if you're a fan of the popular flannel fragrance, definitely check out the Lumberjack. Next up, you can't have fall without a cup of coffee. So let's talk about the Velvet Brew. And to help us with this one, we've got fan favorite Bill Murray. Look, there's not a whole lot to say about this one. It's a bold coffee with a splash of cream. And I think that covers it. It's a true great coffee fragrance that is going to make you think of waking up in the morning. First thing is grab that cup of coffee, sit on the front deck, watch the leaves fall, and just enjoy the season. But while it is true coffee scent, while it is bold, it does have those great bitter coffee notes. You get a little splash of cream. Basically, it's just a smooth cup of coffee, just like the name suggests, the Velvet Brew. Mr. Murray says, Velvet Brew, it's like waking up in a coffee shop, except you don't have to talk to anyone. Just you, some smooth cream and a little vanilla sweetness, and the smell of roasted beans hanging in the air. It's the kind of scent that says, hey, take it easy. You've earned it. Simple man, simple review. simple fragrance. It's a simple choice. You got to try this one. All right, so now we're moving on to our second pumpkin fragrance for today's video, and that is a very unique one called the Twisted Pumpkin. And let's see geez. It makes sense. Makes sense. Looks like we're going to have someone calling themselves Christopher Walken review this one. Now, if you haven't already checked this one out, the primary way to describe this is pumpkin and black licorice. And I know what you're saying. Black licorice? A lot of people don't like black licorice. And if you're one of those people, don't run away. I'm telling you, it doesn't matter if you like black licorice or not, you're gonna like this fragrance. The blend of those two together is so intoxicating, so unique, they work so well together. Check out the reviews yourself. There are even others that say they're not a big fan of black licorice, but they love this scent. I'm telling you, this one is a game changer. It's unique, it's bold, it's something your customers have not experienced before. What a great twist on a fall fragrance, especially for one around Halloween. What a great, great fragrance. I know it doesn't sound like something that should go together, but it's amazing. Now, there are several other notes that kind of serve as the supporting cast, like cinnamon and clove and cumin and nutmeg and ginger, but it's those three standouts, pumpkin, licorice, and anise, that really set the tone for the whole fragrance. Yes, it's quirky. Yes, it's full of surprises. Speak of quirky, actually, let's get to that review by Mr. Walken. And you cannot read anything without hearing his voice in your head. I'm just gonna read the words. You have to use your imagination, but let's see, here we go. Listen, Twisted Pumpkin's not your ordinary fall fragrance. No, it's got layers like an onion or maybe good lasagna. It's unexpected, a little off kilter. And just when you think you got it figured out, bam, it hits you with something else. I can hear him saying that in my head. But guys, trust me, you've got to try this one. It's like Christopher Walken in a bottle. Yeah, that's a bit strange, but it's charming and definitely unforgettable. All right, last fragrance for today is the honorable mention, so to speak. It is not necessarily specifically a fall fragrance. It is a year-round fragrance, good for all seasons, but it's been our best seller since we've started. And it's called the Bandit. And it looks like a review sent in by someone calling themselves Warren Buffett, so we'll see. The Bandit, like I said, one of our best sellers to date. It's bold, it's rebellious, it sort of channels the spirit of the Wild Wild West, or even just an executive penthouse. There's something classy, sophisticated, I'm in charge type feeling with this fragrance. The best way to describe it is that it's woody, it's leather, it's brandy. Those three main components, everything else helps support that. It's rich, it's earthy, it's strong, it's rugged. It's got a little bit of spice, it's got a touch of sweet. This fragrance really has a little bit of everything, and it might be why it appeals to so many people. A large range of notes that somehow all work together brilliantly. So I would give this one a shot, if not just for the fact that it's a great seller for us, but because I truly think that it's got a place in your collection of fragrances. It is bold, most refer to it as a bit masculine as well, but it's perfect for like that modern day outlaw vibe, I guess. And according to Mr. Buffett, the Bandit is a smart investment in personal style. The top notes of brandy and sandalwood are rich and inviting, much like a well-aged portfolio. Leather and spice provide a rugged middle, adding depth and character, while the base notes of musk and cedar offer a strong, enduring finish. This is a fragrance that stands the test of time, perfect for the man who values quality and knows a good deal when he sees one. 12 fall fragrances that don't just meet our cut, they set the standard right now. Now, whether you're looking to spice things up, keep it a little cool, maybe get a little weird, you got to try some of these scents. Now, all of these fragrance oils will be linked in the description box below, but you can also just go to blacktiebarn.com, check out all of our fragrance oils, as well as the other products and resources we have there to offer. So grab your favorites or try them all. I don't think you're going to be disappointed. I appreciate you all for being here. Check out this next video, and also don't forget to check out Craftsy. Remember, the first 1,000 people to use that link in the description box below will get a 1-year full premium membership for only $1.49. Can't miss. All right, I'll see you next time.